How's it going, everyone? What of course you'll be seeing today is a review and breakdown of the exotic pulse rifle in Destiny called Bad Juju. The only way to get it is by completing an exotic bounty called Toland's Legacy, and you can get these bounties at random by completing Crucible, Eris Morn, or Vanguard bounties, but bear in mind they're quite rare and you basically have to complete bounties hoping that they'll occasionally pop up. And Toland's Legacy is the one you want here because they pop up in sections of 3. Toland's Legacy is a multi-step bounty. The first step you're going to need to do is complete a weekly heroic or nightfall strike. After bringing the bounty back when you're done to Ikora Ray, she'll unleash the second part of the bounty, which is basically complete an additional 25 strikes. You can grind them through rock strikes, which are pretty quick at about 5-6 minutes a piece or so, or you can repeat weekly strikes continuously because they count as 2 strikes per 1 completion. When you're done, you'll need to bring a black market coupon to the gunsmith after talking to Ikora Ray as the third part. The fourth, of course, will be bringing this coupon to Xur, and for the cost of a single strange coin, you'll unlock the Crucible part of the bounty as step 4, which will have you earn 10,000 points in the Crucible. Now, the way to earn these points quickly is a Titan and Hunter kill get you 25, and a Warlock is worth 75. So I'd say just go into Rumble or the free-for-all and basically just grind through kills. But believe me, it goes by much quicker than you think it will. It really does. And when you're done with that, finally, the gunsmith gives you the gun after visiting him. Now for the review. The weapon itself starts with a 302 base damage and increases to a max of 331 when you're done with the upgrades, and this is post-patch, assuming you have Crota's End, or it starts lower than this. To upgrade it, you'll need Glimmer weapon parts and an exotic shard. The other form, whether it be, say, Relic Iron or Spirit Bloom, may be different to your weapon. The fire rate is 73. It has an impact rating on the low end of 7, a range of 33, a stability rating of 54, a reload percentage of 65, and a magazine size of 24. It has the look of a medium range weapon on the preliminary stats, and that's the key strength because it also has the lower damage model of pulse rifles, unlike something like Red Death, for example. In terms of PvP damage output, it hits for 18 on body shots and 27 on headshots. With regard to the skill tree, all bad Jujus have the same. There's no variations between exotics. You'll have 3 clear options in terms of ballistics. Smooth ballistics is the first, and it slightly reduces range but also recoil. Soft ballistics, which reduces recoil and slightly reduces impact. And smart drift control, which produces predictable and controllable recoil at the expense of some range. I tend to prefer the first one because it's not a detriment to any particular stat. When breaking down the skill tree, the first perk allows this weapon to be fired in full auto mode, which is nice. The next important perk, Hip Fire, improves accuracy when firing from the hip. The next 3 perks which you'll have a choice over are Armor Piercing Rounds, which over-penetrate targets, and it's very good for mobs because you can cut through a whole group of them if they line up charging toward you. Send It, which increases range and accuracy and is, again, pretty nice for longer range encounters in bigger PvP or PvE maps. And Perfect Balance, which dramatically reduces recoil. I tend to choose Perfect Balance to cut down on the vertical recoil aspect of the weapon, but to be perfectly honest, it's in a rare case with a lot of weapons I've done in Destiny reviews, all choices are viable and easily justified. Like, again, you could use Armor Piercing for on enemies that like to bunch up, and you can use Perfect Balance to reduce the recoil to basically make it a weapon of all trades and ranges, or you can use, again, Send It for longer range encounters. All are justifiable. The last perk of note makes the weapon. It's called String of Curses. The magazine reloads instantly after each kill and also adds an increased damage bonus for a short time. And if that's not enough, kills also recharge your super at a rate of 3.25% per kill. That is insane. You might think it's not much because it's only 3%, but it adds up. This makes this weapon extremely viable for a player that focuses on special abilities more than gunplay, for example, such as a Void Walker Warlock with the Obsidian Mine helmet, or a Striker Titan. And the last 5 perks are damage upgrades. With regard to my overall impressions in PvE, this weapon is great for just about every situation other than close quarters combat. But that can be justified for use if you're skilled enough, because the hip fire perk also makes it at least viable as long as you're accurate in shorter range as well. It's not its key strength, but it can be utilized. It's extremely balanced and has the right perks to be tweaked to match just about anyone's aggressive close quarter style or less aggressive long range style. The String of Curses perk allows for the Obsidian Mind Warlock to replenish their super at an extremely fast rate, but it also caters toward, say, a Striker Titan or a Gunslinging Hunter. You can go through entire strikes without having to reload at all, especially if you switch to a sniper rifle against a tougher enemy. Go back to the trash enemies and you never have to reload again. That being said, it is the lower impact scout or pulse rifle model, meaning you may struggle against those higher enemies. And so, for example, bringing it to hard mode Crow to Zen might get you in a bit of trouble when you have to face those knights. Other than that, you'll be fine. In PvP, similar to PvE, you'll definitely want to stay in medium to perhaps longer range encounters if you choose this, even if you choose the Send It perk. The Hipfire perk allows it, at least gives you a chance to be competitive in closer range encounters, but anyone with a shotgun or a fusion rifle is going to probably beat you at this range anyway. So medium to longer range encounters and you'll at least be competitive, but if you're matched up against someone with scout rifles or say Red Death, you're probably going to be at a disadvantage, even with the 1.1.1 patch, which gave pulse rifles a 9.7 buff to damage as of late February. So overall, I can see myself using this weapon in nearly every scenario in PvE, minus maybe hard mode raid, Crota's End, and doing quite good with it. It has little to no weaknesses other than, of course, shorter range, because the stats are very well balanced, and the perks basically are there's enough selection in perks that you can adapt it to your playstyle, which is nice. In PvP, it wouldn't be my favorite choice because String of Curses is more catered toward continually outputting rounds, and you're just not going to have that maximized in PvP. But it's a fantastic weapon in PvP. It's fantastic in PvE, and it's definitely usable in PvP. It just wouldn't be my top choice. If I had Red Death or a higher damage pulse rifle option, I would probably choose that instead. But it's definitely no slouch. It's a weapon that if you have, completely take advantage of it. Have a good one.